everybody, it's Emily from Vintage Polka Dot Shop, and today, I don't know if you call this a tutorial or tips or idea, I don't know. We're going to do a little video today. I actually did this, I don't know, last year on some journals I never finished, so you've never seen it. So I thought I would walk you through how I like to do some really simple slow stitching on photos or printables. And what I did was I finished off, and I'll list them soon, some journals that I actually started like 3 years ago, and they were almost done before I quit. So I'm going to move you closer to me. All right, hopefully that didn't make you nauseous. So I was working on the thank yous, and I like to use the thank yous as an opportunity to experiment. And what I did, like this is a printable, and I stitched this little heart on here. And this one has it on the, it's on the actual postcard / photograph. And I like to keep them, you could get as fancy as you want on this. I keep mine sweet and simple and just a slight little embellishment. I mean, and when I say slight little embellishment, this just has little X's. So there's that one. And then I was just going to show you some others that I done. This could be on a future journal cover. I used it to actually sew it onto the lace. And it's an old photo. And then I just love these. This is a little printable. It could be a journaling card at some point because I had put coffee dyed paper on the back. I don't remember where I got these photos. I'm sorry. I buy them, you know, they're more likely just from either a printable, or the graphics member premium website. But I have no clue. So I know that's not helpful. This is an actual old photo. And so I just wanted to kind of give you some tips. And this is a Tim Holtz one. I'm not sure how I feel about this. You know, you have to experiment sometimes. I mean, maybe if it's on fabric or something, I'll like it better. But still, you know, you experiment just to see what you like and what you don't like. And when it's something like this or a printable, you're not really risking anything. I also did, in case you're curious, some for my Christmas journals. This is a printable. And I printed it on photo paper, like the semi-gloss or whatever. And I freehand it. I didn't like use a pattern or anything. I just wanted it to kind of have that real rustic look. And then there's that one. And I sewed it on the photos and then just glued it so there'd be all this journaling space. So just to kind of give you some ideas, you know, hopefully just to kind of get your imagination. That's the whole idea for this for me, is just to get your imagination going. So what I like to use is this. Now this is actually, I think it's for a product. I don't even know where, I think it came with a wheel. I got it like on mega clearance. So it was cheap. But if you don't have one of these little mats, you can use like an old mouse pad. You need something soft but firm that you can poke into, because I really recommend poking holes into the photo. And then I'm just using, you know, like the Sizzix. This is a Tim Holtz one. I lost the plain white one I had. You know, but you could use just whatever you use for your pokey tool. You could use a needle. And then I like to use tape, because this isn't like the same as sewing on fabric. And so you can just tape your thread. And then you can use all kinds of thread. I'm using embroidery floss. I mean, I don't even know what color it is because I wrapped it on this. I don't really care. I just go by, I don't care about the number. I just use the color I like. So this will be, and then I'm going to actually stitch this with you here onto this fabric, and then it will be on the cover of a journal, because I don't have one for my idea book. So I thought that would be fun. I liked them. And then I like to use crewel embroidery needles. But, you know, use what you like. It doesn't even have to be sharp because you're poking the holes. Or you could use it to poke your holes ahead of time. Now, a couple things to keep in mind. The big one is, because I've experimented with this a lot, you don't want your holes too close together because you're sewing on paper, not fabric, so it will just tear. Now, sometimes on old photos or on a printable, what I'll do is I'll just kind of draw, like if I'm doing X's or lines, I'll just freehand it and draw it, because I like that. I like that kind of very handmade, rustic, primitive look. But you could get a ruler and you could draw a complicated design. You know, the world's your oyster on this. There is no right or wrong way. This is just kind of what I figured out which is why I'm sharing it with you. You might figure out a better way, which would be fantastic. But today what I'm going to do is first I'm just going to get just some glue stick, and I'm going to glue my paper, because this onto the dotted Swiss. You don't have to do this. I just want this for the background. Heck, you could stitch it and then glue it onto the fabric, but and as you can see, this is going to be very shabby and rustic and messy. And so I just took a scrap piece of paper. I drew some lines on it because I was trying to figure out what I liked. And as you can see, it's about the same size as my picture. So what I'm going to do, and I might make this short. I don't know if you really need to see. I decided I like the line a little closer. I mean, I'm not even completely straight. Because I don't mind if it's not perfect. If you want it perfect, you can totally do it that way. And I'm just going to draw, I'm not going to do it on that. I'm just going to draw making sure it's a stitch. So you want to make sure that you end up, you don't punch a hole that's not going to have a thread in it. So there's one. So you kind of want to do them in pairs. So that'll be 2 stitches, 3 stitches. I'm just going to do a running stitch. Or, a running stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I'm going to put one here kind of in the corner, but I'm going to go down. And you could measure out your stitches perfectly. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around. So, better pay attention. So there's another one. I'm just trying to make sure that I don't end up with extra holes. So one, that's a stitch. There's a stitch, there's a stitch, there's a stitch, which is incredibly difficult to do while you talk. I know, this must be riveting right here. And then you would just kind of go around where you want it. So let me double check. One here, 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 and then this will be a new one. And as I said, you just need to make sure. I'm doing this because it's simple. I'm not even worrying if they're even. I kind of want a rustic look. And when you sew this, see here, 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 it will, it's kind of like if you ever did the sewing cards as a kid. It's a little bit like sewing that, and it goes really fast once you punch your holes. I've done it with just doing X's. I did that heart. The hearts are harder because you got to make sure you have a space between your holes. So that's even going to be a little crooked, which I'm okay with. Well, maybe I'll move it over just a little bit. Make it a little bit straighter. So 1, 1, 1, 1. And then another one. Oh, look at that. It's not taking too long, I hope. It's a little tedious. Fast forward if it is. Okay, let me check, because we're getting to the end here. So 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, stitch, stitch, and then we'll end it up right there in the corner. Now, we'll see how it goes. So I'm just going to lay this on as I said, you can use an old mouse pad. You need something with a little bit of give. You might, I'm getting warm here. You might be able to do a book. They don't really have a lot of give to them. But I'm sure if you look around now, I think what I'm going to do, sometimes I do just hold it and do it, or I'll use a low tack tape, which this is very, very light, just to kind of, so it doesn't, I think I'm just going to move it around. I'm going to do it here. And then when I because I don't have a lot of room around the edge, then when I get down there, I'll move it. I might not even have to retape it, because usually what happens is the pushing the holes kind of holds it in place. Okay, so here we go. We're just going to punch the holes all the way through, all the way around. I guess I probably should have picked something simpler that would have gone faster, but this way you can see the whole process, I guess, beginning from end. And now I have even done it before where I've gotten out the ruler, or I've used this. See how it's got some little dots? Where I have used this to make sure it's all like even, Steven, and perfect. But this is this journal cover is going to be I'm kind of going for the whole little shabby, not really shabby chic, but just kind of loosey-goosey look. So you just poke around, and as I said, you could totally do this with a needle or a bigger pen, a thumbtack, or a stick pin, just what you have. So if you make journals, you probably have a pokey tool of some type. It's funny, someone just kind of mentioned this, and there are people that do like really fancy stitcheries on photographs, like copies, and I didn't realize that, and someone said, oh yeah, I like to stitch on photos, and it was just like a light bulb moment for me. Now look at that, there's a big different gap between that. That should be interesting. And what they do is amazing. This is nothing like that. Okay, so we're gonna actually go through the back, and luckily you can see the hole through this, but you could go, so you want to go through the back, and I'm just starting in the corner. On the one where I had a bow, I started in the middle at the bottom, and then you can just get your little tape, just a little piece of tape, and tape it like that to hold it in place. I tried knotting it, and it does work, but you know what? Let's be honest. Tape is so much easier. And now I'm just stitching, and I'm not going to do a back stitch. This is kind of hard to show you, but can you see, looking at my laptop, so you just kind of find the hole. You don't want to make a new one. You want to go in the hole you made and come up. Sorry. See, it came all the way through, and then do that. So you're just going to go in and out. I'll do a couple more, and then maybe I'll pause it and do it off camera, though you kind of get, so I can show you how I finish it. I don't know, maybe I should just do the whole thing here, and you can see what it's like in real time, and then you can fast forward if you don't want to watch me do all this. So as I said, it's just super. This is like the simplest one. You can, if you want to do like a back stitch, you can, okay, find your hole. I mean, instead of going forward, if I wanted, I could go back, and then and go back in that hole, and then come up, through this hole and just go back. That works fine, but that's just not what I want to do for this. I just want to keep it simple. It's just to add, I like to do this. I think it adds just an interesting texture, kind of a mixed media look to the pictures, and just we can machine stitch stuff, and I love doing that. As you can see on this journal has both. I just think it's just a fun way to add another touch, and I will say it is really fun to do things like hearts and stars and snowflakes, and super fast to do that, or some cross stitches. So you can just kind of get your imagination going. Now, as I said, the big tip is when you're punching your holes in your paper, because it took me a while to experiment, you want to use a cardstock, and you want to use a cardstock or a heavier photographic paper to do this. And you want to make sure your holes aren't too close together, because if you're trying to do something like, let me show you the heart again. As you can see, I just kind of punched the holes around to make a heart, but made sure there was a gap, and then just kind of did the satin stitch, sort of, but I didn't do it. I did it kind of messy. I like it that way. It would be even cute. You could knot it right here and have your knot on there for another look. I mean, there is a lot you can do. But if you're ever curious to see what the people that make these that are super fancy, totally look on Pinterest. Like they'll take copies of people's wedding photographs and embroider like all the flowers in the bride's bouquet. I mean, super fancy. When my friend mentioned it, I purposely didn't look at it online because I didn't want to be influenced. I just wanted to experiment and try it. So I'm for sure not the first person to do this. But because I've been doing it a little bit lately, because I like the look and it's kind of fun, and, it's fall. Oops, came unthreaded here. it's fall, so it's cozy, and it's just kind of time to make handcrafts. I just was really feeling it. So, and then I wanted to mention too that another tip, if you want it thicker, like if you're gonna do like a satin stitch, like to do a heart or color something in, you could do all 6 threads. You know, embroidery floss has, for those who don't know, which I'm sure most of you know, have 6 strands. So I'm doing 3, which probably would have been nice to tell you at the beginning, just because I like that look. But I've also done it with 2. You could use pearl cotton. Just, just use what you have. Sometimes you can get bags of embroidery floss at estate sales and thrift stores for super cheap. You can find it, of course, at Joann Fabrics has a beautiful selection, and Michael's also carries floss, and I'm assuming Hobby Lobby does too. I haven't bought it in a long time. I used to do little primitive stitcheries to sell. I've made thousands of them, and and then I'd frame them and everything. And so I had a ton of floss. And then when I went to junk journals, I got rid of all my floss because I thought, oh, I'm so over that. I'm not doing that anymore. And then this idea came up. And so I think I got like a bag at an estate sale or something. I don't know. I got a whole bunch cheap to replace what I had gotten rid of. So you can get it out there. But as I said, you can look at Hobby Lobby, Goodwill. I don't think Walmart has embroidery floss. I would think that it would get... Oh, I think they might have it in a bag. Like you can get like a bag of a variety of colors. Pearl cotton comes in different, I don't know what the term is. I'm going to say thicknesses. You could probably even just use sewing machine thread if you wanted, just depending on the look that you want. So I guess I'm so close to the end, I might as well just finish it up. I was thinking about stopping this and all that. Uh-oh, here we go. But you can kind of get an idea of how long it takes. And this one's taking even longer. If you do something like just in each corner or along the bottom, like this would have been cute. You could just do the X's along the bottom. X's are really easy to do. I usually, when I do something like that, I actually draw the full stitch. And then I punch holes everywhere the needle is going to come in and out of. So if I did X's, I would have a double, I would draw the X's on the back or on my pattern. And then I'd have, I'd have at the top of each X, like, can you even see that? Probably not. Oh, here we go. So I feel like I should show you. So let's say I'm doing, oh, great. So much for this being a quick video. So let's say if I'm going to do cross stitches like that. Okay. I would punch my holes just at the top, which probably now you're looking at that going, Emily, I totally saw that. That is so obvious. I don't know why you're telling me that, but just trying to get, and then that's where you would just make your cross stitches where the holes are. I'm just trying to make sure I'm covering everything. So, but if I've forgotten something, please leave a question in the comments. It's one of those things where you figure it out yourself, and then it's like, I'm sure I'm missing something. I'm sure I'm not telling people stuff or whatever, because it's just so simple. And sometimes the simplest things are the hardest things to teach. Oh, and there's my cat, Olive. Everyone say hi to Olive. I think she's decided that she needs to be helpful. Oh, and now she's stepping on the computer. Alrighty, so we're done. I can't see what I'm doing because she's in the way. There we go. So I'm going to cut this. And then get a piece of tape, and there she goes again, so I can't see. So hopefully you can see. That is a really big piece. I don't need to cut it that big. So just stick that there. Oh, tape my hair. And tape that down. And then when you can just glue it like normal. I mean, you do have holes here, so don't get crazy with the glue. But, you could just glue that down on your journal cover, and you're good to go. So thank you so much for watching. Please, please let me know if I missed anything, that you had questions on. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.